Welcome to Credit Monster, where high limits are achievable and bad credit is beatable. I'm your host, Daquan, back at it again. Now, I'm about to tell y'all how I got my student loan canceled. Now, I'm going to just preface this video like this. My situation was a very unique situation, but it's good insight on how to get things removed. Now, when I say student loans, I'm specifically talking about a payment plan with the college itself. This is not through the federal government. It's not through FAFSA per se. I'm dealing with a community college. Now, most community college allow you to have a payment plan with them directly without the federal government, or if you didn't qualify for financial aid, or if you had financial aid but for some reason it didn't go through, they will bill you anyway for taking the classes or not taking the classes. And that's kind of what happened in my situation during the pandemic. Now, this is also one of the qualifications for this method was the fact that I had to use the pandemic as a reason that this was unjustified. This debt was unjustified. So I'm going to tell y'all exactly what I did. This method could also be used in other situations, and it's a powerful method that no one really talks about, that no one ever speaks of. And this is contacting your attorney general. Yes, your attorney general. This is very powerful. If you felt like a company did you wrong, or you have a debt that you've been disputing that is really unjustified, why the actual reporting of the debt is incorrect, because that's what we actually do. We dispute inaccuracies and incorrect information, because that information should not be on your credit report if it's incorrect. Okay, y'all, so let me tell y'all the story. So back in May of 2020, I had registered for college courses at my community college. I specifically wanted to take two in-person classes because the classes was hard. It was like calculus and economics or something like that. And I've taken them online before at a different college, and I didn't have much success because the classes were super hard. So I wanted to take those two classes in person, and then I was willing to take two other classes online. The thing is, the pandemic happened a few months later, and we all know what happened. The shutdowns, the colleges shut down. So at that point, I didn't want to take the classes anymore. However, I didn't drop the classes right away because I was working. I was still working during the pandemic. I have an essential job, and I just wasn't paying it no mind. So long story short, on June 8th, they announced that the classes was going to be online or something like that. Like I said, I didn't pay it no mind because I was so busy working during the pandemic. And so it was for the fall term. So they started September 2020. So I went online to look at the classes. I looked at the syllabus and I said, oh, heck no. I'm not going to be able to take these classes, especially because my situation had changed based on the pandemic. The money wasn't coming in. I wasn't getting unemployment. So I'm self-employed. So basically the fall term had started in September, and I wanted to drop the classes. I looked at the syllabus real quick and I said, oh, heck no, we're going to have to drop these classes. So I went ahead and dropped the classes. My particular community college wanted to charge me 50% of the tuition, being as though that I dropped it on the same day the classes started. Now, I've taken online classes before. I've been in college before, and most of the college classes I took, it was always like a 10 or 15 day grace period where you could drop the class and there wouldn't be no charge. That was always my experience with colleges. So I was pretty surprised that they wanted me to pay 50% of the cost, which came up to about $1,700. A lot of money. You know, And I was going to pay it. I'm not going to lie. I was like, you know what? I'll pay it when I get the money. However, a month later, they sent my bill to collections, and that made me furious. I was very upset because they sent my bill to collections a month after the classes ended. So that was like January 2021. They sent my thing to collections, and my score dropped about 50 points. I was furious. So I did the one thing that most people wouldn't do. I didn't dispute it the normal way because this was a particular college in my city, and I felt like this was an unjust situation. So I contacted my attorney general. I just went on Google, and every state has a different attorney general. So if you're planning on contacting your attorney general for whatever the case may be, you may live in a different state. Search your state's attorney general in your specific state. They should have a website where you could file a formal complaint against a company. Now, I wouldn't just file a complaint willy-nilly to a company. You need to have evidence. You need to have documentation. You need to have, something where you followed up with the company, or it has to be a situation that you try to resolve on your own before you contact the attorney general. So I tried to resolve this situation obviously on my own because I emailed the financial aid department in the financial department of the college, and I emailed them and I told them, and I said, hey, why is it 50%? And so then my response was nothing. So I contacted the attorney general, and the attorney general then went on my behalf and contacted the college, and that set a fire up their butt because now they had wrote the attorney general a formal letter about my situation. Now, the thing is, they wrote a lot of stuff. They said, I was, they laid out the situation to the attorney general because they have to answer to the attorney general. And the thing is, a lot of the stuff that they said was not accurate. And me being the master disputer that I am, I had to argue some of their points. I had to highlight some of the things that they said in the letter because, first of all, they said that I dropped a class a week after the class started. When I dropped the class, the day it started, and I had email proof that I emailed the counselors and everybody that I wanted to drop the class the day it started. So I had email proof of that. Another thing they said was, instead of it being 50%, normally they don't charge 50% if you drop the class within a certain period of time it started. So they said normally it's 20%, but y'all charging me 50% when I tried to drop the class the day it started. So at what time, it didn't tell me in the letter, but at what point of time would it have been 20%? Because I tried to drop the class the first day of the class. So assuming that it is a policy that should be 20%, I should have been charged 20% at most. But y'all trying to charge me 50% for all 4 classes, which came up to $1,750. So they went ahead in that same letter and said that they was going to not charge me for the online classes that I originally wanted to take in person, but they are only going to charge me for the in-person classes that I registered for, which came up to about $730. Now, that wasn't good enough because, like I said, they lied and said that I tried to drop the classes later than when I really tried to drop them. And I didn't even take the classes. Why would I pay for classes that I didn't even take? So I objected to the letter and wrote the attorney general back in response, say, hey, here's proof that I really dropped the classes on the day that, a different day that they said. So why is they lying? And at what point in time would it have been 20%? That's just a question that I have. Because at most, I should just be paying 20% for the classes, not 50. And guess what the response was? Not even 24 hours later, the college emailed me and said, hey, we just got funding from the government for the school, and we're going to use that money to forgive your student loan. I was blown away. Now, the thing is, I looked up the source of their funding, like the program that the funding came from, and I basically found that they been had this funding. They had this funding since January of 2021, but they still tried to charge me. They still tried to send me the collections. They still tried to mess up my credit. And they had this funding the whole time. It took for me to contact the attorney general to take advantage of this funding. And that's messed up. Because if this funding was to the colleges during the pandemic for pandemic relief, if it's for the students or the facility or for all of that stuff, then why isn't it going to the students? I know it's plenty of students that had the same situation as me who tried to go to school during a pandemic and just wasn't successful because they didn't want to take it online. They wanted to take it in person. We all learn differently. And if you are self-aware, you would know that, hey, I don't learn good online. That's why I didn't take online classes from the beginning, because it's plenty of online options. Why wouldn't you take advantage of an online option if you could learn good online? But it's just certain classes that I understand that many people don't want to learn online because it's harder to learn online because you don't have direct connection to the professor in most situations. More people might learn better visually or hands-on. So I know a lot of students got affected by the pandemic in that regard. And if you have failed a class because of that, I will argue to say you should have your stuff forgiven. And that's just my opinion. I will fight for it. And that's just my opinion as well. You could do what you want, but that will be my take. I will fight for that. If you failed the class and you felt like you felt it because it was online and you really wanted it to do it in person, then I will fight for that. These colleges got the funding. They got funding. They got relief from the government. They just not using it on the students. And not all colleges. Some colleges might be using it for the students, but my particular college was not. I have the email and it's just crazy. So I just wanted to keep y'all informed. Even if you have a unscrupulous company that you've been dealing with, that you've been disputing, that you've been trying to get off your credit report because they are reporting inaccuracies, or maybe they just out of business and they have no right to collect, you could contact your attorney general regarding those companies, regarding the frivolous things that they've been doing, the misconducts that they've been doing. That's what you would contact your attorney general about. But make sure that you had attempted to resolve the issue yourself and you have proof. But that's the video for today. If y'all like this content, if this is valuable, please like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers, man. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers. Help us out here at the Credit Monster. I'm going to give y'all truth. I'm going to give y'all credit tactics that no one is talking about. I'm going to give y'all personal stories. I'm going to make sure that y'all have the information and that y'all equipped to succeed in this world of credit and become a credit monster. But I'm your boy Daquan. Again, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, and I talk to y'all on the next one. Peace.